My beloved son, my precious daughter, today I come to you with a call that cannot be ignored. You are deeply loved by God, and at this moment, He wants you to feel that security, that faith that only comes from being in His arms. I know you carry many pains, doubts, and worries, but there is an answer coming. God is calling you to a transformative encounter to end all anguish and bring a solution that will deeply touch your heart. God wants you to know that your time of pain is drawing to a close. A new path is being prepared just for you, and He is calling you to walk it with Him. I urge you, stay with me until the end of this message, because what is about to be revealed could change the course of your life. He is offering you love, security, and strength in ways you might not have expected, and the solution to every challenge you're facing is closer than you think. If this message is speaking to your heart, share your thoughts in the comments below, and let us know how God has been working in your life. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss any more messages of hope and encouragement. Stay tuned, because the next moments could bring the breakthrough you've been waiting for. Today, God is knocking at the door of your heart. He is calling you, gently but urgently, so that you do not miss what He has prepared for you. The wait, the pain, the long nights of uncertainty, all of this is about to find an end. Because God is acting. He sees your heart, knows your anguish, and at this moment, He is offering you a new direction. There is a transformation happening, and it begins when you answer His call. Jesus is by your side now, whispering to your heart, "Come, my son, my daughter, I am the way you have been seeking." He knows you better than anyone, knows exactly what has hurt you, what has kept you from moving forward, and He is here to free you from it. God's love is the solution to all your problems. He invites you to trust Him more deeply, to place your fears, doubts, and weariness in His hands. Life may have led you down paths that seem to have no way out. Perhaps you are wondering if there is hope, if there is something that can really change the situation you are in. And God's answer is clear. Yes, there is hope. Yes, I can transform all things. He is preparing something greater than you can imagine, and all you need to do is say yes to His call. From today, you will begin to notice the changes. They may come in small, quiet forms, or in great gestures of love and provision. God is working in all areas of your life, bringing peace where there was conflict, light where there was darkness, and hope where there was despair. Trust Him, because what He started in you, He is faithful to complete, and this transformation is just beginning. You have heard God's call before, in the quiet moments of your heart. Perhaps you felt His gentle touch guiding you, but the rush of life, the daily worries, distracted you. But today, this call is stronger. God is calling you urgently because He knows you need this encounter with Him now. He invites you to a place of rest, renewal, and healing. Jesus wants you to know that there is nothing you have done or failed to do that can separate you from God's love. He is by your side, ready to welcome you, to guide you on the path of peace. You are not alone, even if sometimes it seems that the battles are too great. God is fighting for you. He is moving mountains in your favor, and He is preparing a future full of hope. The struggles you have faced so far have been real, and God does not ignore any of them. Every tear you have shed, every silent prayer, He has heard. And now, He is responding in a way that will surprise you. God is faithful to His promises, and He is fulfilling everything He promised you, even if the journey has seemed long. This is the moment for you to stop and listen. What is God saying to your heart now? Perhaps it is an invitation to let go of control, to trust more deeply. Perhaps He is asking you to take a step of faith, to let Him guide the next steps. Whatever it is, know that God is calling you with a purpose. He has something wonderful reserved for you, and all He asks is that you trust. Allow God's love to envelop your heart at this moment. He is offering you a new perspective, a new chance, and a new life. Do not ignore this call, because it can change everything. The transformation you have been waiting for begins here, with this simple act of faith. Trust in God, because He is your refuge, your strength, and your peace. There is a gentle yet firm voice speaking to your heart now. It is the voice of God, calling you closer. He knows life has been difficult, that struggles have accumulated, and that you have felt tired. But God is telling you there is a path of peace, and He is calling you to walk this path. He has a plan for you, a plan of hope and prosperity, and this plan begins when you answer His call. Jesus is by your side, telling you there is no reason to continue carrying the burdens alone. He wants to help you. He wants to free you from everything that has held you back. Fear, insecurity, the weight of the past, all of this can be laid at God's feet. He is offering you a new chance, a new life, and all you need to do is respond to this call with faith. God sees beyond the circumstances you face today. He sees your future, and that future is bright. What seems impossible today, He is already transforming into a victory. Every battle you are facing is an opportunity to trust more in God, to surrender control to Him, and to see what He can do. And believe me, He can do much more than you ever dreamed. God's call to you is simple yet powerful. Trust. Trust that He is taking care of everything, that He is working in every detail, and that your life is in His hands. When you answer this call, something changes. Fear gives way to faith, doubt is replaced by hope, and God's peace begins to flood your heart. From today, start noticing the changes God is making in your life. They may be subtle at first, but each one is a reflection of the unconditional love God has for you. He is preparing the way, He is opening doors, and He is leading you to a place of rest and renewal. Do not ignore this call. God is offering you something transformative, and this is your chance to receive it. At this very moment, God is calling you in a special way. He wants you to feel deeply in your heart how loved and cared for you are. All your worries, all the fear that insists on returning, God is ready to carry that for you. He wants you to rest in His arms, to find relief and peace, even when the world around you seems uncertain. Jesus is by your side, ready to guide you on the path that leads to true peace. Perhaps you have felt that the challenges are too great, or that the solution seems distant. But God is saying that the solution is already on the way, and that He is the way. He calls you to trust more deeply, to place everything in His hands. Even if circumstances seem to tell you otherwise, God's power is greater, and He is ready to act in your life in a powerful way. Can you feel this call in your heart now? God is offering you a new chance, a new way of living, free from fear and anxiety. He is asking you to set aside the weight you have carried alone for so long. No matter what you are facing, God already knows every detail, and He is inviting you to let Him take care of everything. Things may not have happened the way you expected until now, but God is saying that His timing is perfect. He is never late, and He never forgets a promise. What He promised to your heart, He will fulfill. And when you respond to His call, you will notice that things will begin to move, doors will begin to open, and what seemed impossible will become reality. Allow this peace to touch your heart now. You are safe in God's hands. He is in control of everything, and He calls you to rest in this certainty. What seems like an insurmountable mountain today will be a victory conquered with God's strength and grace tomorrow. Trust in what He is telling you now. He is faithful, and He will never abandon you. Have you ever wondered why some things in your life seem so difficult to resolve? God sees these issues, and at this moment, He is calling you to trust that He is already working on the solution. Jesus invites you to release the weight of these worries and to rest, knowing that He is taking care of you. He sees beyond your doubts and fears and knows exactly what you need. This call is urgent because God wants to give you something new. He wants to bring a deep transformation in your life. There are so many good things He has prepared for you, and He is telling you now that the time to receive them is near. But for that, He needs you to trust, to place everything in His hands. God knows that waiting can be tiring, and that the challenges may seem bigger than your strength. But He is strengthening you, preparing you for what is to come. Jesus asks you not to give up, not to let current circumstances prevent you from seeing the bright future He is preparing. The path God has for you is one of peace, joy, and victory. You are not alone on this journey. God is by your side every step of the way, sustaining you when you feel your strength is running out. And He promises you that there is no battle you face that He cannot win for you. Believe the victory is already guaranteed, even if you do not see it yet. The transformation you seek is on its way, and it comes directly from God's hands. Now is the time for you to respond to this call with faith. Allow God to enter every area of your life, and see how He begins to change everything for the better. The peace you seek is within your reach. God is offering the solution, the relief, and the renewal you need. Do not let fear or doubt prevent you from receiving what God is giving you today. There are moments in life when everything seems out of control, when anxiety and fear seem to dominate every thought. But today, God is calling you to a place of peace, where you can rest and trust that He is taking care of everything. Jesus wants you to know that He is already working behind the scenes, preparing the way for the relief you seek so much. This call is a reminder that you do not have to face everything alone. God never intended for you to carry your burdens alone. He is by your side, ready to help you, to guide you in every decision, in every moment of uncertainty. What seems impossible to you is completely possible for God. Jesus is calling you to let go of control, to place your fears and worries in His hands. God has a plan, and that plan is to give you hope and a future. What you are facing now is not the end. It is just part of the transformation process God is carrying out in your life. Can you feel the relief God is offering? He asks you to trust, to rest in His presence, because He has already prepared everything you need. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow in faith, to see God's power in action. And He is acting, even when you cannot see. Allow God's love and peace to envelop your heart now. He is calling you to a life of trust and faith, where you can rest, knowing that everything is in His hands. The transformation you have been waiting for is on its way. God is acting, and you will see the results soon. All He asks is that you keep trusting, keep believing, and keep walking by His side. At this very moment, God is calling you for a special encounter with Him. He sees the struggles you have been facing, and He knows the weight you have been carrying on your shoulders. But Jesus wants you to know that this burden does not have to be carried alone. He is by your side, ready to offer you the relief you need so much, a peace that only He can give. This call is urgent because God has something new reserved for you. He desires to give you a peace that transcends all human understanding, a peace that can only be found in His presence. Beyond that, He wants to open your eyes to a new way of living, a life free from fear, anxiety, and distress. The challenges you face now, no matter how intimidating they may seem, are not greater than God's power. He is calling you to trust Him more deeply, to throw yourself into His arms with confidence. Jesus is telling you that the battles you have been facing are not meant to destroy you, but to strengthen you. Every difficulty is an opportunity for you to trust God even more, to surrender to Him everything that is beyond your control. When you do this, when you let go and allow Him to take the reins, you will begin to see changes. Doors that seemed locked will start to open, and peace will flood your heart in a way you have never experienced before. God never abandons His children. He is telling you right now that all the things you are going through will be transformed into victory. The transformation you have been seeking is on its way, and it begins with your response to this divine call. God is offering you a life of peace, trust, and renewal. He is inviting you to let go of all your worries, to rest in His hands, and to trust Him in a way you have never trusted before. There is freedom waiting for you, a freedom that comes when you give everything to Him, when you recognize that on your own you cannot, but with Him all things are possible. This encounter with God is the starting point for a new journey, a journey of faith, renewal, and transformation. Answer this call, let God take care of what troubles you, and allow Him to transform your life from the inside out. This moment is the beginning of something grand. God is calling you to a deeper level of intimacy with Him, a place where His promises become alive in your life. When you respond to this call, something extraordinary will begin to happen. The storms that seemed uncontrollable will lose their power to shake you. The anxiety that suffocated you will be replaced by an unshakable trust in God, a certainty that He is in control of all things. Sometimes the weight of worries and problems can blind us to what God is doing on our behalf. But now, He is asking you to open your spiritual eyes and see beyond the circumstances. He wants to show you that even in the moments of silence, He is working. Even when it seems like nothing is changing, God is moving the pieces of the puzzle of your life, preparing a future of peace, hope, and purpose. The transformation you seek is not something distant or unattainable. It begins with your surrender, with the decision to let go of control and allow God to guide your steps. It's not an easy journey, but it is a journey full of purpose. Every step of faith you take will be rewarded with a new revelation of God's love and care. God is inviting you to live a life of purpose, where every battle faced, every tear shed, is transformed into strength and wisdom. He is calling you to leave fear and doubt behind and walk toward the future He has for you. A future full of peace, renewal, and fulfillment. At this very moment, Jesus is extending His hands to you. He's not asking you to understand everything, but to trust. Trust that He is able to transform every area of your life. Trust that He is enough to meet all your needs. What once seemed impossible will begin to take shape. He is guiding you in a new direction, a path where faith will be your anchor, and peace will be your companion. When you take this step of faith, you will no longer be alone. God's presence will be your strength, your hope, and your relief. He wants to teach you how to live differently, a life where fear no longer controls your decisions, where worries no longer steal your joy. This is the kind of life God is offering you, a life full of purpose and peace. Allow yourself to be transformed by this call. Allow yourself to live the life God has prepared for you, a life where, regardless of circumstances, you know you are safe in His hands. The relief you seek, the peace that seems distant, is now within your reach. It all starts with your response. God is calling you, and the journey He has for you is more extraordinary than you could ever imagine. Now is the time for you to respond. Do not ignore this call, for God is offering you something transformative. He calls you to a new life where you can trust Him fully, knowing that He is taking care of every detail. Trust in God, for He is your fortress and will never fail. What do you think of this message? Have you ever felt that God is calling you to something greater? Leave your response in the comments. I would love to know. If this word touched your heart, share it with someone who also needs to hear it. And don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to receive more messages of faith and encouragement.